Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to my DVC podcast, Community Hall. We are so glad you've joined us here tonight. Tonight's show is going to be a little bit different. Our beloved leader is off in Hawaii, enjoying himself in a much-deserved trip there. It's his first time to Aulani, and he's been showing videos. If you've missed them, go to our My DVC Facebook page. He's been putting up videos and showing a lot of the wonderful adventures that they're having, and selling all of us on getting back out to Aulani again, because what an incredible time he's having. Unfortunately, a lot of the stuff, the intro music and different things, we're not sure exactly how to hunt those down. He's usually got them on his computer. And so we were going to have Jake hum A Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow, but he unfortunately had to leave us because he's busy in the Magic Kingdom right now. Actually, I think the security guards might have just grabbed him by the nape of the neck because they'd closed the park and he was still hanging out there. But anyway, so we don't have any of the intro music, but we do have a lot of great conversations to have. And we're so glad you're here and you're going to be joining in on the conversation. Tonight's podcast has been sponsored by DVC Resale Market. Now, DVC Resale Market is an incredible company that our friends over there, if you're looking to sell your contract, or if you're looking to buy a new contract, they are the people to talk to. The people over there have helped literally thousands of people find a contract to fit their needs, to scratch that add-on-itis itch that everybody who's ever bought DVC eventually gets. So if you've ever thought about adding on a contract, or maybe you're looking to buy your very first one and you've just been looking for the reason to pull the trigger, well, call them over, go over to dvcresalemarket.com, talk to our friends over there, and I'm sure they'll help you out. And not only are they great at getting you plugged into a new contract, but guess what? They pull something off that most people that have ever owned a timeshare never thought was possible. They'll help you sell your contract. They'll help you find a buyer. And sometimes, I know for me, if I was looking to sell right now, I could actually make more money on my contract than what I paid for it years ago. So you're just not going to have that happen anywhere else. DVC is a wonderful product, and DVC Resale Market is the place to go to get help. So we encourage you to go over there. And if you go over there, let them know you heard about it here on the My DVC Podcast Community Hall. Well, let's welcome in all of my friends tonight. First up, Dan and Holly Austin. Hey, Dan and Holly.
Hey, hi guys. How are you?
How you guys doing? I just got to meet them for the first time at our pre-show tonight, and we're excited for them. Fairly new owners and new DVC. And we can't wait to hear some of the things that they're going to share with us as well. Also with us tonight is our friend Vicky. Vicky.
Hey guys. Good evening.
Hi, Vicky.
Hey, Vicky.
Good to have you all,
Gina,
Dan and Holly.
are you going to be joining us or? Okay, well, I wanted to make sure. And so Vicky, you all set? You excited?
And Gina's producing, and Derek's helping produce too.
I know.
Say hi to them too.
All of us are working hard behind the scenes, but I've already told some of you, don't do a real good job because then he'll retire. Chad will just say, "You guys did so good without me. Go for it." Next up, we got Derek. Hey, Derek, how's it going, buddy? Oh, Derek. Oh, he's working behind the scenes.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
But Alicia will be with us, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
There we go. Yeah.
These are things that I need to be more aware of before. Right? Super.
You don't want me
Like
behind the
said,
scenes.
I got to
It's
mess
good.
up a little bit so Chad doesn't want to just hand it over to me. Which
Hey, everybody.
We're so glad you're with us, Alicia. Now, are you still down in Florida or are you back home?
Yes, I am whining because I only have 3 more weeks. I know that sounds really bad, right? Then I have to go back to Michigan, but it's, we just got back from Disney about 2 days ago for a 91st birthday party golfing adventure with my dad. So it was really, really special and fun. So
wow, that would be awesome.
Oh,
Just to be in my 90s and still golfing, that would be,
Yeah.
that'd be a divine miracle taking place. Right there. So,
you hit them all straight, and you wait till you see the TikTok. I made a great TikTok on it. It's so fun.
that's like my father-in-law. He beat me every time. I could outdrive him, but it didn't matter.
Yeah, he 100 yards straight every time.
Just the little dink shots, and he'd get there in the hole way faster than me.
Yeah, it was just a joy. It was just a special time. It was very, very fun.
Really nice.
Awesome. And you're probably picking just about the right time to go back to Michigan because a lot of it will be melted away, right?
No, the snow does not melt until Memorial Day weekend. I think.
Wishful thinking, huh?
We could have snow around Easter.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. April, first weekend of April. Like,
Yeah.
the last
Easter's
year.
always so cold.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Well, tonight we're all really excited because this is a topic that as we were talking about it and we were thinking about it, I think all of us, as we've talked about, it got us all excited about our being DVC owners. Because you know what, as a DVC owner, you could have your contract like I've had for 16 years since I've got my first contract, and then you've got Holly and Dan that just recently got their first contract. It doesn't matter. Everybody does it different, but how we vacation can teach us all about exciting new ways to do it. And so tonight, that's our topic. And we want you guys out there to join in with this. How do you DVC? How do you vacation with the DVC product that you have? Or if you're not an owner yet, think about it. How would you like to DVC vacation when you finally do get that first contract? Because we know you're going to join us. We know you are. So.
And there's no wrong answers. Like I've
that's
met
it.
so many people and they all do it so different.
Yeah,
And it can
isn't that the truth?
change as you go through the different
It
phases
does,
of life.
yeah.
And we're gonna see a lot of that tonight. I'm sure. I know you're gonna hear that a lot from me because I've been in with them for many, many years, and how we're doing it today is completely different than when we started. But it changes with us. It's perfect. So I'm going to kind of lead it off tonight with the very first question. Okay, and when do you travel? Yeah, when do you travel? In other words, what time of year as a DVC owner do you have a specific time that you like to go? That maybe it's because of your family's structure or your job or whatever. When do you go? Do you have a specific time or are you spontaneous? Audience, join right in. Let us know, what is it that makes you make your decisions about when you're going to go and do DVC? Now, I'll kick it off for the roundtable tonight. It used to be like was mentioned before. How I do it now is totally different. In the beginning, when my kids were little, we loved going in the summer. But back in the early days, before we bought DVC, we were completely Disneyland. And so the summers in Disneyland are way milder than the summers in Florida. It was rare that we would go out there and it wouldn't be comfortable. So we would do a lot of trips out to Disneyland and we'd go in the summer. But as soon as we bought DVC and then started to do more at Disney World, and the kids were still young, we would go, our favorite time was the week after Thanksgiving. It was perfect because the crowds were down. We were naughty parents. Our straight A students were taken out of school and they almost failed. Not even, they did fine. But they were young and so it wasn't hard on them. So we'd take them out of school. We would go that week after Thanksgiving where there was no crowds and they were doing Christmas. And so that was probably, of all the years we've done Disney, that season in our lives when we could do that, that was our favorite. As I got older, we really couldn't pull them out of school. And then down towards the end here, the last few years, it was always January because my wife and I got into racing, right? So going out for the half marathon and that type of thing, it became January. Now we've added a son-in-law into our mix, and our new son-in-law and my oldest daughter, she's a teacher, and so we're doing a big family trip, and we'll talk more about what kind of room do you pick, but we're doing a big giant family trip coming up in June because that's when the school teacher can go. So you can really kind of see we had specific times, but it changed.
Yep.
Right. And for us, we kind of look at December through February is kind of when we go. Now, we have 3 kids and our oldest is 6. So he's still in kindergarten in first grade this year. So it's not a big deal if he misses a couple of days. And then we have a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old as well. And our anniversary is December 1st. So that's when we started going to Disney. Our honeymoon was there, and also Holly's birthday is there. So she plans trips around those special events a lot of the time. So
You did the right honeymoon.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous.
so we look for, around December and February. We did February 2 years ago, right before we bought in the DVC. And then we've also done the January trip as well. We find that there's a little bit less crowds in January and February. We love going in December because of the holidays. And, but with us, we have to plan it out well in advance. Our countdown's over 300 right now because our next trip is in December. So we usually don't do too many spontaneous trips, with the planning, with the airfare and all that. So we get it pretty well planned out. Holly's the master planner. She has all the spreadsheets and, back when there was fast passes, ADRs and all that, we would get them all. So
Fun. My main trip is October. This is why I got a March use year, because you have to bank by the end of October, right? So that worked for me. And then that's for the, the Halloween party is that time. And I love Halloween. That's me and my friends are one of our favorite holidays. That's a good time to go. Another time of year is spring break is a pretty fun time to go. I also travel with teachers some of the time, or I have 2 nephews and they're students, so that's a hard time to be able to get in. So that's why DVC is so great, because we can book at the 11-month mark for both those times and it's no problem. We tried to go this year for my birthday, which is the Memorial Day weekend, but obviously that didn't work out. But, yeah.
That's fun. Those are good times.
Yeah.
So we've bounced around quite often between October and I'd say February. And I have found that my Uber favorite is our business runs hard through the end of September. The first couple weeks of October, I push it a little bit. And then it just gets me through my hard parts of working, as knowing that, okay, I only have 7 more weekends, 5 more weekends. Like, I can do this. And our season is very hard. So I push our big trip in October because I do love Halloween.
Yeah.
And it feels like Florida in October. It's like 85 and gorgeous and warm, and I don't freeze my butt off. So, and then now we've added, since DVC, we have the Adinitis, and we just keep using all of our points to go well, I could go here for one night and I could go there for one night and I could go add in this for 2 nights. And we've not only used points for that, we've paid cash rooms for that. We call in. So it's kind of fun to explore. I just love seeing the resorts. And so we've gone 5 times this winter and only to the parks once. So that's kind of fun.
So I see we've got some responses from some folks here. We got the Campbell Chronicles. I like to go during low point chart times. Yeah,
Yes.
my kids are still pretty young, and it's easy to get them out of school. And the chart schedule for those of you newer into DVC or that haven't been paying your close attention, they've moved it to 7 different time zones now instead of 5. So it's a little bit different, but for the most part, you're going to find a lot of it's still kind of the same. So, but I think you guys nailed it earlier with January and February. Those are some great time, point wise and crowd wise. Those are, and usually weather wise. Sometimes Florida can surprise you.
It's still winter in Florida. I know I've been here too long. I know I'm whining when it's 62 out, and
Well, you've acclimated. So for those of us coming from the 20th, when the sun goes down, it's 60,
It's like
pretty darn
85.
good.
Moonlight Magic 2 years ago, it was 38 degrees in Kingdom in January. So
You don't go on too many water rides then.
No,
They're not even open.
But September right now is a good time to go as well if you can manage to do it. The first 3 weeks of September, I think, are very low points as well.
Yeah, it is. Weather-wise can get a little tricky, but point-wise and crowd-wise, it's great. So Gina says right now it's summer and fall, but want to go during Festival of the Arts. Yeah, we talked about that last week. If any of you missed that podcast, go back and watch it. That was a great one, talking about all the different festivals. Justin Highland, our oldest, is in preschool, so we like to travel in late January, Martin Luther King weekend. That's another good one. Although surprisingly, that tends to be a busier weekend. I would have thought the crowds would be way worse during all of the marathon times. But actually, the last couple of years, marathon wasn't necessarily a bad time to go to the parks, except for transportation to the parks could get a little bit insane. But yeah, so they like to go in January for the low crowds and perfect weather. Planning on taking her out of kindergarten for our trip next January. That's right. She's going to miss out on the crayon making day.
It'll be okay.
I'm a kindergarten teacher. She'll be fine.
Bruce Uland, I bought DVC with the intention of going every 3 years. There you go. And staying a 2-bedroom villa. Due to work schedules and school schedules, we have to go in summer. That's excellent. And a lot of people do that. And let me give you a hint there, Bruce. If you ever run in, you get stuck or something happens weird and you can't go, go to a DVC rental. They can rent out your points as well, I believe. So no, actually, yeah, it's them that does it, right, Gina? Yes. So they'll help you with that. Hey, Mark's here. I'm sorry I'm late. My wife and I love going to Disney World from September through mid-December. Yep. My favorite is still that last 2 weeks after Thanksgiving. Oh, Mark, let's go. Let's make a plan right now, buddy.
And those are still fairly low on the point charts also. Those first 2 weeks of December. Yeah.
Yeah. And especially on the new charts. The new charts up until December 23rd. I don't know if you noticed that, but they shifted them down.
A little later.
Less points till you hit the 23rd. And then it took a big jump. So Jess Jaworski, we're stuck going during February or April break and or the summer because of my work schedule. Yeah.
Always work.
Yeah.
Work gets in the way.
Katie Jean, we usually go in November. We did Jersey Week in 2018 and in 2019. We pulled the kids from school, but probably we'll just go Jersey Week going forward. Yeah, the reality is it's better to do Disney when you know you can do it. Better to do it than skip it. So Samuel Schilling, we go January every year. I must be a runner. Yep, you're usually before or after marathon weekend. Weather is cool. And he's not saying, hey, cool. He's saying, no, cool. Low crowds, low points, and the arts festival.
Right.
I've got to get out there and enjoy the Festival of the Arts.
Got to do that one.
I've been there during that time, Alicia, but I've never took part in any of this stuff. So Derek Birdsell, 2 teachers, so either Memorial Day week or late July after baseball.
Yeah.
All right, well, we better move on to the next question here. We'll get Amy Meeker Taylor in here first. My son will be in high school next fall. I'm sure band and sports will change the way we travel for a few years. And
Definitely.
we're going to tell you right now, you're right. So we've got another question to talk about here, Alicia. What have you got for us?
Oh, it's fun. And it's how do you use your points? Like, do you bank them? Do you borrow them? Do you use all of them perfectly because you bought the right amount?
Never.
Anyone do that?
I want to meet that person.
Yeah. Do you rent points? Do you borrow points? Like, or do you, or is this, how is it that you do it? So there's a lot of different ways that you can use your points. And I am one that we had bought to the perfect amount so that we could go 4 nights, right? And then I started adding all of these things on. So now I have 2 contracts. So one is for our big stay. And then our next one is so that we can do these little bonus trips. So just like bonus points that we can just add on and go for a night here, 2 nights there. But I did get them, I changed to get them at the same use year so that we can hook them together and then go to like Alani or something down the line.
Okay,
So Brad,
I'm the next
Brad,
step. Sorry, I was adjusting a light
Clockwise.
flickering. Yeah, so don't hit the mic when you're podcasting. Don't do it. All right. So for me, it's interesting because I got into DVC really early on with our kids. So 2004, I believe, was my first contract, and so I've never rented points because back in those days we didn't have cool shows like this. We didn't have anybody teaching us how. I'm not sure there was any place out there where you could actually rent points unless you knew somebody. So I didn't ever rent points, but for many years we just used our points. We did a lot of banking and borrowing. We got very good. I didn't learn that you should, if you're going to buy an extra contract, make sure you get the same use year. So I'm the guy
you guys
that can
helped
teach
me
you.
with that. Yeah, that was that.
Yeah.
I was like 5
I'm
minutes.
the guy that
from
can
missing that
teach you,
stage.
okay, this is how you got to try to do it now if you've made that mistake, or to warn you not to do it. But So it was a little challenging, but not too bad. But what we've noticed now, I actually, I've got my side job, my retirement plan is for the last 8 years I've actually been a Disney travel planner, and so because I'm involved in that industry, I get a lot of opportunities and perks and different things that come down the line, and I do cruises and things like that, and do other kind of vacations. So what I started doing the last probably 4 years was I was renting out my points. Basically, every year I was basically renting out my points because I could get travel agent discounts and et cetera, et cetera. And the cool thing with owning DVC was that here I would make enough money with my rental to pay my yearly fees, because long ago I paid off my initial investment. You own it for 16 years. You've covered that. I took care of that. So basically it was just what my points were, my annual dues are. I would pay the dues and I would still have enough money left over to pay for a value or a moderate for several days at Disney World.
Awesome.
Cover with my discounts.
Yeah.
So I rented them out. Now, because we've expanded the family, and now we can't really stay in one room anymore, and the kids are too big, and nobody wants to sleep on the couch anymore. So we're back to using points in 2-bedroom Animal Kingdom in June, and 2-bedroom Old Key West. I'm sorry, the 2-bedroom Old Key West, and then 2-bedroom Bay Lake. So that's where I am now.
And well, when we bought in when we were a brand new family of 5. Our youngest was just a few weeks old when we bought our first contract, and we bought enough to travel every other year in a 1-bedroom.
Supposed to be every
Supposed to be, and then that never happened. It was every year, and we tried studios, and we just liked the 1-bedroom. So we're like, okay, well, we need more points. And then we found out we were expecting another child, and so we won't fit in the 1-bedroom for much longer. So we have been borrowers from day one. Yeah, the first trip we had to borrow a few from the next year, and now we're in Rofer for our add-on. So.
And you'll still be borrowing points.
Yes.
Probably, yes.
On that third contract. That's kind of the way it works.
Yeah.
So for me, I do bank, and then if I need to borrow for some add-on trips, we do that. But if there's an extra trip we want to do, we will just rent points from someone else to get the room that we want, because you kind of get used to DVC. You don't want you get used to the kitchen. I want
There's
the
no
1-bedroom,
right?
Exactly. So we're not gonna do a cash. I still want to stay at like Yacht Club. I've never stayed there, so we'll probably make that like a split stay trip type of thing. But I think I have enough where we can we kind of switch off paying, right? So if it's my time, then if I bundle up the points from my banked ones, it's an even bigger room or a longer stay or something like that. So it works out really well. I'm sure at some point I'm just going to have too much, and then I'm going to want to borrow too. So, I'm sure that day is coming. It just hasn't yet.
I'm afraid of the day that I start borrowing.
You know what I mean?
I could have borrowed, but then I just paid cash to go to Vero, because I was like, I don't even want to mess. I want to bank as many as I can to go to a Alani or something like that.
Or you just buy a new contract.
Right, just buy a new contract.
Which I did that as well. like squirrel holing them all. Yeah.
Or you go do like you were telling us earlier. You go visit a new resort you hadn't looked at yet, and you're like, now I got to own here.
Oh yeah.
Here. I gotta have some points. That's the problem with trying all the different hotels.
Yeah, I was blown away by Grand Floridian. I gotta say that it was not on my list until I saw the rooms. It's way prettier on the inside. I know that sounds really bad to say, but I wasn't impressed by the outside. But inside the rooms, it was perfect. It was so perfect.
Oh, that's nice.
So our buddy Jake, he just texted in. He said, we use our yearly allotment. Yes, he does. That's what he's down there now, using up points.
Yeah.
It works for us because we do studios, since I'm either solo or with one other person. Love the flexibility of being able to go during all of the seasons. Man, what it would be like to live in Florida, or at least be able to take months and live there, like somebody we would mention.
It's very addictive.
Amy Meeker Taylor says constant state of borrowing. Oh, sister. I
You're in
feel
the club.
pain.
I feel yeah.
That's what we do.
And good point here. This has happened a lot. We bought an SSR contract just to have some extra points. We never actually use them at SSR. And here's the thing. Saratoga is a good resort. It's a great resort. It's just not necessarily the one that everybody wants to rush to because the challenge with buses and that type of thing. But it's a fantastic resort. But reality is, my first contract, Saratoga Springs.
Right.
First time I stayed in a room in Saratoga Springs was about 10 years after I bought that contract. So,
And it depends on your purpose of your trip too. Because like if you were going for golfing in Disney Springs,
That's perfect.
It's
when they
great.
have it's
great
fantastic.
location. Yeah,
Yeah, be
true.
careful,
Very
Brad.
true.
Mary Ann's going to text in. So,
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
No, I like it. Great resort.
Yeah.
right.
I just hadn't used it, but now after I've stayed there, especially, and I've seen pictures of the refurbed rooms. I can't wait.
They look
That's a nice
beautiful.
resort.
They do.
Mark says the plan was bank and use 2 years worth. A lot of people do that, but I was borrowing a lot.
Always.
That was our
2020
plan.
kind of fixed that. Yeah, 2020 kind of stored some up for you there. You're like a squirrel. You got a whole tree full of nuts now. There you go. So you're good for a while. Katie Jean, 2 different contracts, and we bank and borrow. Each has 100 points.
Yep.
We stay in a 1-bedroom Saturday through Friday. There you go. Yeah, and that good point on that. I remember when I first started, that was our thing. You stayed Monday. You went in on Sunday night. You stayed and you left Saturday because
that's how I do it.
Saturday morning because Friday morning because Friday and Saturdays the points were way up.
Right.
And the weekdays were cheap. Remember
That's
that,
right.
Vicki? But then they kind of balanced it all out. I remember that was when I would run around with my sign saying, "You can't do this. You said you never change. Take more points." And I learned the hard way. No,
They can do whatever they want.
they can, and it doesn't use more points. It just makes you have to rethink how you vacation. But yeah, borrowers were in a better position when the pandemic shutdown happened. You're right, Amy Meeker Taylor. You're right.
We were doing it right.
Absolutely right. And T says we're in always borrowing club too. Yeah. I don't know. I wish I lived in a world. I got 250 points, and for some people that's like, wow, that's quite a few points. It's just not enough.
Well, especially in our house, we have 6 of us, so we either have to
so
be in a
studios are
2-bedroom
out.
or, well, we can
Or
do
unless you
2
do 2.
studios. Yeah, but like at Polynesian, like you can fit a lot of people in a studio or 1-bedroom there. So, so you look at that and you're like, well, but they don't have even, so it can be helpful, but it takes a lot of points to rule with this many people.
Well, one of the nice things about DVC too is that for those who want a vacation at Disney World, is that it does provide with those 1-bedrooms and 2-bedrooms that we're talking about some unique opportunities when it comes to dining. It gives you some flexibility there to help with your budget and things like that. So Dan and Holly, why don't you talk to us a little bit about dining?
Right. Dining is one of our favorite things that we do at Walt Disney World. So, you can do all kinds of different things with dining and being in DVC. You can do in-room dining. You can do the quick services. There's also the table services that kind of allow you to sit down and relax a little bit more. And then if you want a special night out, those signature dinings are always great. And then, there's character dining, which is a lot of times just a table service, but it's a little more than just a regular table service type experience. And for us, we do a lot of in dining or in room dining just for like breakfast. So we can kind of save on, we used to be meal plan people, and we would want to save our credits, so we would use breakfast or we would either do takeout from the quick service. While Holly's getting the kids ready to go, I would run down at Roaring Fork or any of the quick services at the resort, grab breakfast, bring it back to the room, and kind of save a little bit of time there. And then when we're in the parks, we love quick service because it's a quick grab and go type option. And, sometimes even with quick services in the park, you can get a big combo and share it, so it's not as big of a meal as what a table service would be. But so we usually do lunch and we share our quick services with the family.
Yeah. And then we usually do dinner at table service. We like that break at the end of the day. We've kind of gone all day and we kind of break for dinner and then we head back to the resort at that point. Or well, if we're at the resort, we go to dinner at the resort just for something nice to end our day. And then we haven't done signature meals in a while.
No.
We would love to, but we just kind of feel a little bit uncomfortable taking all of the kiddos just because there's so many variables with taking a child to a nicer restaurant. You know, are they going to like the meal? It's a more expensive meal. How's their behavior going to be that day?
Yeah.
Are they going to melt down? Are you going to have to leave the restaurant? So we would love to get back into doing signatures, and there will be a time for that.
I wish some of the people that I've been in the signature restaurants were felt the same way.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like,
I love your child over there.
right? With Disney, I think everybody expects that there's going to be children around, and but when you're at a signature dining, you're kind of looking for it's a little more. Upscale, I guess, and it's going to be kind of a lot of those restaurants aren't as loud as a Chef Mickey's, right? We love Chef Mickey's because the kids can scream and nobody realizes it. But
Right.
you're at a nice signature. I don't want a kid having a meltdown at California Grill or something like that.
And we certainly don't want the kids not to enjoy Disney. That's the
right.
point.
Yeah,
They should be loving it.
and we do parks from like rope drop to the end of the so we've been in the park all day, and when you got to plan what meal you're going to do 60 days out, you don't know if your kid's going to take a nap that day and be fine for dinner or not. So one of these days when we can take maybe a babysitter, we'll sneak over and do some signature dining ourselves.
Right now, our favorite type of meal are the character meals because we can knock out multiple characters in one sitting. When you can do it, you get autographs, you get your pictures right there. It's loud. It's perfect for families.
And the all you care to eat, the skillets and the family style is way better than when you have to get up for the buffets, because then you got to take one kid with you. Then you hope that a character doesn't come around while you're up there. When you can just sit there and everyone's there, and even with the characters just waving, it's not as personal, I guess, but you don't have to interrupt everything and get up to get the autographs and the hugs and the pictures. The kids can stay seated. They don't knock over the milk when they're going up to see Tigger or Pooh or anything like that.
So DVC hasn't really changed much about how we do dining other than just like the in-room for breakfast.
Right.
But that can be huge for budgeting and planning out your trip also.
Yep.
Yeah. So how about you, Vicki?
So last time I did not DVC, we stayed at the All-Star. So we just ate like in the quick grab cafeteria style, but it's so much better DVC because you have the kitchen. We're rope droppers too. So we order groceries in to be delivered, like whatever's free or like having a deal or something. And then so you just eat that unless you're doing a character breakfast, which, we always book at least one. Or if you want to try like a breakfast, like when we stayed at Old Key West, Olivia's was apparently very big for breakfast. So, we tried that. Yeah, exactly. But most of the breakfast, in room. And then for lunches, we don't come back to the hotel that much, but if we did, the one time I did eat just the quick service again at Old Key West, no big deal. And then for dinner, we really like sit down or signature. I mean, I think some of the table service restaurants at like Disney Springs are signature like. They're not called signature, but they're really nice restaurants. And then, it's also good if you're really tired to just eat like on the balcony in your room. That's another benefit to DVC too that I really like doing. And of course, after dinner drinks, you can take them back to the room, or you can bring your own and have wine, sip it on the balcony, watch the fireworks, whatever's going on. Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice.
I get to do all of the above. So when we go for our big stay and I got teenagers, you just wait. I tell you, when your teenagers start eating ribs, I'm like, I do the meal plan usually when we're doing that, just because they can eat whatever they want, wherever they want, and try and just, they're 6 foot something, right? But when we go, all of our other times are just like pop in, pop out. We do cook in the room quite a bit. We do quick service. I'm a Geyser Point fan, 100%. So it doesn't matter where we're staying. I have to have, my Geyser Point burger. And it's funny, but I really enjoy the resort quick service or the resort cafeteria style. So even if I'm, let's say, out and about, or I have like these down days, like these off days, non-park days, like I don't mind, figuring out a way to get to Art of Animation and go eat at their quick service or their cafeteria, because it's build your own. Like my daughter, she's mad that we didn't go back there. She's like, "Oh, I want that salad, or I want that pasta bar." So I think that every single resort, this time we went to the quick service at what is it? Not the beach club, but the Caribbean Beach.
Okay.
So cute. So if I was staying at Riviera, I would totally make that walk over. And they have like music during the day and at night. Okay, not right now during COVID, but I'm like, I would hang out here every night. So those kind of things, not having reservations, you don't get tied to, my watch. My watch. Yeah. Like just by not having the reservations, especially during this COVID time, as long as you don't want to eat at Disney Springs, like you can probably figure out a lot of places that are really great food to just pop in and out throughout the whole entire time. Yeah. And we do love cooking in the room. There is, some things that you would need to bring. I think like whenever we make a pizza, I'm like, where's the pizza cutter? Like, come on.
Right.
Yeah.
So there is definitely some work that goes involved with cooking in the room. So sometimes I just don't even bother. I'm like, we're eating out every meal. Vero Beach, they did an amazing job feeding us every meal. I didn't even bring a bag of chips. But we enjoy every single part of eating at Disney.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so we kind of started out, of course, in the early days, like I said, everything was about doing it on a dime. When I made a decision, when my 4-month-old baby girl was in my hands and we said we're going to do Disney every year, I was not in that price bracket, that earning bracket. So, but we have. She's 24 years old now. She's done at least one thing Disney every year of her entire life. They are Disney kids and they love it, and we love it. But in the early days, it was all on a budget. So we really paid a lot of attention, even though we were staying in studios and we didn't have the full kitchen that you have in the 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom. We would get a lot of things that would be microwavable.
Sure.
We didn't know about Garden Grocer and places like that yet. So we would pack that. We had one suitcase. But we always did in the early days, like Dan and Holly, we were big into, and it sounds like Alicia, the dining plan we did that every time.
Yeah.
This dude, man, I was a pro. I could make money off that dining plan.
You were not leaving any snacks on that table.
There were nothing.
Not with festivals.
we sucked the marrow out of the bones. I mean, it was gone, man, when we were done. Yeah. And so, I mean, we'd do Narcoossee's and signature dining and use up 2 credits, but I'd spend $160, $70 on that meal when we don't drink any alcohol. That was just food. Every kid was ordering lobster and steak. And so we got the money's worth. So in the early days, we did the dining plan. And like Dan and Holly mentioned, if you talk to anybody, even now, it's still the same way. Unless it's a character meal, don't use your dining plan for breakfast. That's a big hint.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Just bring stuff to
I
eat.
don't know. I do like the one at Copper Creek. I mean, like we just ate there.
There's a couple of them. And there's
It's
a
a
Copper Creek.
buffet.
What's the name of that one? It's
Whispering Canyon.
You do Whispering
Yes,
Canyon.
that's a lot of fun, and their breakfast is very good. You give me a good point.
They threw napkins at me this week.
Oh,
But if you're looking to get your monies, really maximize your dollar, that's the place. We would always, in those days, it was all about maximizing the dollar. So we would just make something in the microwave. Then once we got the 1-bedroom, we still kind of did the same thing with breakfast, unless we did Whispering Pines, which we've gone to that one multiple times. And it was
Canyon.
Whispering Canyon. Yeah, and the maple butter and the isn't that the
Right. Yes.
Just the crispy bacon.
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm a crispy bacon. Like
Oh my goodness!
I don't know what Disney does,
Just
but
give
it's
it up
so
for
good.
that. And so anyway, but then what we did to try to make up for the expenditures in the new places, we started doing more signature every once in a while and all of that, is we would a couple meals. Then we learned about Garden Grocer, where you can order your groceries in. There's multiple companies you can do it with. Yeah. We would order in food and we'd cook like 1 or 2 meals, and it would just be something like a big giant Stouffer's
Right.
frozen, nothing fancy. You know, we didn't cook our own. My wife didn't. She's like, I didn't come here to cook. I came here
Yeah.
to vacation. So,
Right.
but we'd get something we could heat up in the oven quickly, and but we'd take advantage of that kitchen and save a lot of money. So, yep. So
Right.
it looks like
And one bedroom kitchens are way different than a studio. You
Yeah.
know,
Oh, yeah.
you can't do nearly as much in a studio.
Well,
but,
Microwave.
the reality is
Right.
the studio doesn't have a kitchen.
right. Yeah.
There's
yeah.
no stove. There's no,
Right.
there's a little tiny fridge and there's a microwave. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Once you get into one bedrooms and two bedrooms, life is a whole different. So, Justin Highland said we saved hundreds this month by staying in a one bedroom and eating in the room for breakfast and dinner. Exactly.
Nice.
And the dinner, sit down dining, table service, you can rack up the cost.
Yeah.
Mark Couple says, we are foodies. Hey, attaboy. We
Yeah.
have now learned that the meal plan doesn't make sense because we buy snacks for the room, eat small counter service during the parks, and eat 2 to 3 sit-down meals a week. And I think we could all agree with that. The only reason the meal plan may work is if you're worried about saving money, the meal plan may not be for you. If you're thinking, I don't want to think about it, it sounded like kind of what you were saying, Alicia.
Or if you need to fill
I
up teenage boys.
Yeah, I just want them to eat what they want. I don't want to think about it twice, so it may still work.
Right.
But Amy Meeker Taylor, I've become a master of studio cooking. Atta girl.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
You keep kitchen stuff in our owner's locker. Good point.
There you go.
That's a
If
good
you-
tip.
If you make trips and you need to store stuff, that owner's locker is something to look into. It's nice not to have to be a junk food vegetarian at Disney. Yeah.
And as a gluten-free, dairy-free, I have not been to one place that they couldn't figure it out.
Couldn't find a way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, they always figure it out.
Bruce says, Bruce Willen, we like to do a couple table service meals per trip. We're the same way, Bruce. We figure out the couple, okay, which of the two we're going to do for sure this time. And then we fit everything else back around it. But our dinners and lunches are usually bought on property. Breakfast is picked up at the resort quick service location, which is a great way to do breakfast as well.
Yeah.
And something we picked up. Yep. I wish all the DVC resorts had gas grills. Yeah, some of them do, and that's nice.
Right.
That would be
Saratoga, I think Old Key West,
Copper Creek does.
Copper Creek
Yeah.
does good. Yeah.
I want to bring like a speaker and have a party. I think that's where the meetups should be.
Let us know.
Yeah.
There you go. I got my little wireless Bose right here. I'll bring it next time.
All right.
All right. And we almost always do breakfast in the room to get the meal done faster and not start the day with a large meal.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Then quick service lunch and table service dinner. And that's a good point. One of the things that usually pulls me away from doing some restaurants that I love to do at breakfast is I'm too impatient. It's
Yeah.
I'm
If you're
burning
going for the
daylight.
perks,
you
like
gotta
Either
get
rope
going.
drop. I got to knock some stuff out. So I'm done by noon.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
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 All right. Well, so one of the other things we look at when we do DVC is what kind of room size are you going to do this time? We want to ask you that question, all of you that are out there online right now. For you, what are the room sizes that you tend to pick, and why is it that's the size that you choose it? For me, for us, as I mentioned before, we started out with studios. Kids were small. We're all about saving points, saving money. So the kids were fine with that. They were getting to do Disney every year, so they didn't mind. So we'd go and stay in the studio, and we saved points that way. Then as time went by and we decided we visited Animal Kingdom, fell in love with it, then had to buy another contract. So we owned there so that we'd have a better shot at getting club level and possibly the value rooms. And so we bought there. And that's when we started splurging a little and started trying one bedrooms. And it's so funny because you're staying in a one bedroom. The kids are still sleeping on a fold out couch.
Yeah.
They still are. But it feels totally different because now we have the kitchen. We've got so much more room to stretch out. And boy, when you get a Savannah room with that one bedroom at Animal Kingdom, oh my goodness. So I
Glorious.
thought we died and we had gone to heaven, man. So we tried that. And then, Dan, Holly, I hear you when you're talking about the one bedroom. It's when you do one bedroom, unless it's just you and your wife now, how do you go back?
It's hard.
It's like
We tried it.
kids beg and get
last
ugly
time.
and please, Dad, one bedroom, please. I'll sell a kidney.
Right.
Please. It's just like- So But and now we're having to completely rethink this thing. Really have to use our points now. I can't use what I did before with my travel agent stuff, because now it's, if we want to stay as a family, there's 5 of us now, and we're all adults basically. Well, we all act like kids, but we're adults. And so
Of
2
the
bedroom. It's basically, when I go to look now and use my points, I'm looking at 2 bedrooms. That's what I'm looking at. So
Yeah. Well, when we bought into DVC, we were technically a family of 3 because our youngest 2 were under 3. So now we are going to be a family of 5 on our next trip because our new one will still be under 3. And so, yeah, we had been doing, we started out in a 1 bedroom, and then we tried a studio because we could still fit in a studio. And we were like, no. Our oldest walked in, our oldest walked into the studio and he goes,
Where's the rest of it?
Where's the rest of it?
Oh, how cute.
He's only 6.
Right.
You
Yeah.
and my husband both. Like, it
yeah,
ruined
somebody
him.
washed the room and it shrunk.
Yeah. And, I mean, before we got DVC, we had done the family suites over at Art of Animation. And, the thing that moved us to DVC is spending at Pop Century, 2 kids in a pack and play, 2 strollers in the room, the Murphy bed down. You're crawling over the beds to get anywhere.
Yeah.
And that was it. That was it for me. I said, I'm not spending this type of money to crawl over beds.
No hot tubs over there.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that was really the thing that kind of put it over the top for us.
We
knew we needed bigger
We were home
accommodations.
from that trip for a week, and he's like, "Hey, I signed us up to do a call with DVC." And I'm like,
Hey.
"Okay,
Twist my arm.
you don't have to convince me." So we'll be able to fit into some studios and some 1 bedrooms for the next few years with the occupancy of 5, but then we'll be strictly 2 bedrooms.
I'm okay with.
Yeah, we're good with it.
Yeah, Disney doesn't like 6, so you
No,
got
they
to
don't.
Right?
Yeah.
gotta bump. But I'm keep hoping for Reflections will be
Yeah,
dog friendly and
Yes, me too.
and family of 6. I keep the more I say it, maybe it'll happen.
Yes,
Get into
putting
it.
it out there in the universe.
Right.
Yeah, hopefully they've learned with the popularity of Art of Animation the value of really building suite hotels.
Right?
Yeah.
And
Absolutely,
definitely.
and instead of doing a value plus suite hotel, do a deluxe suite hotel where there's more space and you can start to fix 6 and 7 and into that room. So yeah, I'm all for it. You got my vote.
Yeah.
Yep. So we did the 1 bedroom. You can't go back to studio, obviously. If we have enough points, we'll try to do a 2 bedroom, depending on how many people are coming and everything. But if it's a quick trip, we'll do a studio. It's like a weekend or something like that. Then it's not too bad. You're not in the room too long. But it's true. Everybody, if you didn't know, 1 bedroom, you'll never go backwards.
No.
And the laundry in the room, I think, like
Yes.
for me personally, that's my most favorite part.
Right.
Yeah.
With kids,
Yeah.
messes all the time.
Yeah.
And
Our daughter got sick one trip, and having the washer and dryer in the room was clutch.
Yes.
Like, I'm so glad I didn't have to run down to the laundry room.
Right.
no, I think
Hours.
the 1 bedroom and 2 bedrooms, all this pixie dusting they're doing, it's just a ploy to sell more points.
Yeah.
These are giving all the studio lovers, and they get these big rooms now. And,
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like, oh, this is nice. I could use
Happy with that. No. And so I do both. So I'm either like at one end of the spectrum or the other end of the spectrum. So we're always 2 bedroom kind of loves, Old Key West, always Copper Creek. But we've also been in the cabins. Like we pull all these together and we stay in the cabin. But when I just pop over, we have squished into many studios. At Vero Beach, there was just me and the kids. And I'm like, so if we're not going to be there for,
Right.
more than 2, if it's 1 night, 2 nights,
Mhm.
I will always just dump to the smallest room I can, because we're going there for a different purpose. We're not going there for movies and relaxing in the room and cooking. And that, it literally is just hop in, sleep, get up, go do whatever we're going to do that day. So we kind of balance out the whole cabin and 2 bedroom thing with the opposite end of the studio. and we have stayed at studios. Like I said, Vero Beach was fantastic, but in that, and at Animal Kingdom, we did a studio there. The view is just as pretty in as a studio as it is in that, 2-bedroom, but I mean, during COVID, I would definitely splurge for the 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom because of the food choices right now out there. But, at Copper Creek, you could get away with a studio super easy because they have like literally 4 restaurants on property.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you had to deal with a studio, I would look at what your food choices are and choose wisely on that one. Even Vero Beach had more food choices than Animal Kingdom does right now.
Yeah.
So before we listen to some of our folks' stuff, let me give one more little point there for folks out there. We're giving you your travel tips, okay? I'm a big proponent of split stays. Both of my trips coming up this year, both of them are split stays. And the reason I do that is because I can stay in a studio the first couple of days. We get past the crowdedness in the room because we're gone. When you first get there, it's all about Disney. We're out of there. But we always make sure then we do that to save points so that the tail end, you basically take your bags down to guest services the day you're going to the park that you're moving to the other hotel. You say, please move my bags to the other hotel. They move it while you're in the parks, and then you just go back to that hotel at the end of the day and your bags are there. But then we move into a 1-bedroom.
Right.
Or a 2-bedroom. And then we have because then we pack less.
Can I pay the concierge to pack for me? Because
just keep doing more trips. Eventually you'll go, I get sick and tired of this. I gotta pack less.
No, I'm a woman. No.
Okay, you're making a good point because I am married to a woman that she starts packing a week and a half before we leave. And I'm like, seriously, babe?
I can pack in 2 minutes. It's still the whole house. But
take the kitchen sink out. They have one right there in the 1-bedroom.
Yeah. But having that laundry on the second part of your trip, is huge.
That's a good tip.
Always do studio before 1-bedroom.
Yeah.
You're going to be like, what
Don't
did I
ever
just
go the
move
other
into?
direction.
Yeah,
Yes, you'll be disappointed. Be like, oh,
right.
I gotta stay in this now.
Exactly.
Patricia gets me.
Patricia's in there with some of us here. Always 2-bedroom because we are party. Yeah, she's a party of 6. Right, Alicia? It's just how are you going to get around it? It's tough without getting 2 rooms or breaking the rules. Shh, don't say.
There's nowhere for them to be anyway. Like, no offense to like to the 2 bedrooms. It's hard to put. We just had Grandma and Grandpa there, and you're still sleeping in 2 people in a pull-out couch.
Right.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Mark says it is just the 2 of us, and I fell in love with the 1-bedroom. We bought a second contract so we can do that. You know what? And that's exactly where we are when we do our husband, my spouse trip, and we take at least one every year where it's just the 2 of us. We tend to like that too because we got the kitchen and we got the laundry and we got and there's just so much space. So
and I feel like the 1-bedroom makes it feel like DVC as opposed to
exactly. It's not a hotel room. It's more. Yep.
Our first day was in 1-bedroom, and we're like, okay, this is why we joined DVC.
What were you saying, Alicia?
Yeah, no, I mean it feels like home, too.
Yep, exactly. Comfy. Amy says 1-bedroom value at Animal Kingdom Village. Man, if you can get it, it is the sweet spot. We've got one coming up, so I'm excited. We have found for our family of 3. I'm a point stretcher. I use our poly contract now for Marathon Weekend Studios.
Nice.
If you own an Animal Kingdom and you can get that value room, that is by far the best deal on property. Period.
I think this is adorable.
Yeah, you can get a studio there for I think the lowest time is 7 points. 7 points.
Yeah, we just came back from a 1-bedroom value in December, and we had the Savannah view.
15 points.
And it was amazing.
Oh, a little bit more. Well, about 18 points or so.
It was not much more per night for the 1-bedroom value as it was for our studio at Copper Creek.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Brad Bitsan says, correction, I get the pull-out couch, wife and kids get the bed, brother.
He's dad of the year.
When you're the only man in a house full of 3 women, you just take whatever you can get.
And he's probably the one carrying the kids on the back with the sore head, pushing a little stroller.
Jess, we do 2 bathroom. We do. I think you meant 2-bedroom accommodations.
No, I think she means bathroom.
Well, because some of them have the 2 bathrooms.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
that could be. Oh, yeah, they are. That's right. Because it says that could be poly studios. Which is
right.
correct. They have two bathrooms. AOA Suites, which has two bathrooms, and the Bay Lake Tower, 1 bedroom, and Copper Creek, 2 bedrooms. That's right. Yep. That is one of the cool things about them. They have multiple bathrooms. Back to the fact that I'm one man with 3 women. I appreciate 2 bathrooms.
I think the 3-bedroom had 4 bathrooms. I'm just saying, if you're going for bathrooms, you might as well.
Yeah.
All right. T says, T-Rake says, we have always been a studio family to save points. We got a 1 bedroom, AKL value the last trip. It will be so hard to go.
Yeah.
Yes, it will.
Oh, you are so right. Amy, we stayed in a 1 bedroom at Riviera last fall because we had excess points, and my teen said he's never sleeping on another pull-out couch after sleeping on that Murphy
I
bed.
have heard that those Murphy beds are comfy.
I can see that. They're
I
flat.
stayed in the Riviera Tower, the one that's basically a cruise
Yeah.
line
Tower one.
cabin, and that bed was so comfortable. It's
Oh,
I'm
good.
not going home.
I'm hoping as they do all their future refurbs, they add those Murphy beds in
Sure.
and take out the pull-out couches.
And those
Yeah,
particular
yeah.
mattresses they're using there,
Yeah.
they're really good.
Yeah.
Katie Jean, 1 bedroom because we like having space. Yes. And being able to stay up a little
Yes.
longer after the
Yeah.
kids pass out.
Another place
And,
to
you know,
be.
that is so good. Like Dan and Holly said, when you have kids, you know, and you got strollers and you got this and you got that, man, you get in a studio and that thing gets filled up fast.
Sure does.
By
And
junk and stuff.
she made a good point about being able to stay up past the kids. It kind of makes it feel like more of a vacation for you as the parents also, because you do have your space where you can stay up and hang out while the kids are asleep.
Especially if you can get one of the rooms in one of the resorts where they have a balcony, like over at Oak West or something. Oh,
Yeah.
so nice.
And if
Close
they
that
wake up
door.
before you, they turn on the TV and you just roll back.
Yep.
That too. Oh no, Dad's watching.
Or they come crawl into bed with you.
Bruce said, my boys are adults. We need at least 3 beds, so they each have their own bed. Yep. We just bought last year, so the plan is a 2-bedroom villa in the future. We could get by on a 1-bedroom if there are 2 pullouts. Yep. And
Yeah.
those are rare. Sometimes I'll have the chair that's big enough for a,
Right.
Oh, right.
Those drop down beds just
Yeah.
You might like the treehouse
yeah, that's
good point.
that,
for the good value points. Those
Yeah.
and they have literally dedicated doors, rooms. So you might like that.
I hate to say it. I was supposed to be trying out the treehouse for the first time in the summer, and I finally bowed to pressure because this is my first trip to Disney World with our new son-in-law. And
You want to do it big, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you don't. Treehouse is a great place, but it can get a little tricky if you're going to spend we're spending 6 days in the park,
Yeah. Transportation.
and
Right.
every day we're going to the park. So transportation can get a little tricky at the treehouse. But all right, is that about it? Well, we want to say thank you so much. Then we're going to wrap this up for tonight. We've gone a little bit long, but we hope you've enjoyed your time with us. We have sure enjoyed our time with you.
Yeah.
We so appreciate all your input. Listen, for those of you that join us every week and put the comments and stuff, you are what makes this a reason for us to do it. You really are. I could sit around in my office here and talk to myself. I've been known to do that. But it's so much more fun to talk with my friends in the round table, and then to have you join in. You
And
are
I
what
think
make
we're going
this
to keep
magical.
talking over at Discord, right? So
What's that?
we're going over to Discord
Right, I'm getting to there.
Oh, how
So we're going to wrap this up. However, we do have a bonus question that we're going to share with our Patreon guests today. So you want to make sure to come on over to Discord. You can see it up on your screen now. And the bonus question for you over there is, do you relax while at Walt Disney World or use your points at beach resorts for relaxing? So we want to hear your input over there as well. For those of you that are here, thank you for joining us. Thank you to all of our sponsors who make this possible. We are grateful for all who are part of our community. God bless you all and have a great evening.
Good night, guys.
Yeah, good job, everybody. That was fun.
Awesome.